This week's topic of Emunah Mondays was establishing self-honesty. Before we begin, the class is dedicated to a Refuah Shalema for Ora, Bat Shayna, as well as Leuliei nishmat for Roger, Asher, Ben Marcel, and Gabrielle, Messouda, Bat Sarah. May both their neshamas have the ultimate Aliyah. So, the reason I chose this topic of establishing self-honesty was because I felt like self-honesty is a necessity in ever experiencing Emunah and establishing Bitachon. It's between self-honesty and acknowledgement. Those are the two requirements and the proper foundation to ever get to those stages. And what's better than to break it down on how one can establish self-honesty? A lot of people might even say, oh no, that's not possible for me. Oh, I can't do this. You'll hear that all the time, but that's not true. And that's not them being honest with themselves. That's them telling themselves what they want to hear or making an excuse for themselves. Self-honesty contains nothing that nobody has. Like, every single person is capable of establishing self-honesty. And how can I say that? Is because every person has the ability to psychoanalyze. Every single person does psychoanalyze, whether every single emotion is based off of psychoanalyzing. Every single experience that we have, any thought process is all through psychoanalyzing. And we have the tool is to be able to psychoanalyze. But the problem is that we're psychoanalyzing the wrong thing. In life, we go ahead and how many times, if we know anything about any person, if I hear a certain response about somebody, everybody default is psychoanalyzing. If you are scared, it's like, oh, should I jump? Should I not jump? You're psychoanalyzing. It's like fear. All your emotions, do I love the person? You're going to psychoanalyze if you love the person or not. That's on a repeated basis. Judging somebody is psychoanalyzing. All these things are psychoanalyzing. So it's not the lack of ability to psychoanalyze. It's the lack of direction. We are psychoanalyzing the wrong things. The truth is, psychoanalyzing is not meant to go and psychoanalyze other people and to judge other people and look at other people and determine things. It's for ourselves. But the truth is, how many people actually psychoanalyze themselves? We don't understand. We don't dissect why we do what we do. Why am I acting the way that I'm acting? Why am I responding the way I'm responding? It's just rather, what did I respond? What did I do? And not really the reason and the breakdown behind it. And every person is capable of that, but we don't have that direction. A person isn't blind if they can't see. Just because they can't see doesn't make them blind. Maybe they just need glasses. And just because you have glasses doesn't make you blind. And just because you have glasses doesn't mean it's the right prescription. If your glasses get foggy, that doesn't mean you're blind. It means you have to take them off and wipe them off. And if I take my friend's glasses and put them on, that doesn't mean I'm blind. It just means, it literally just means that I cannot see because that is not my prescription. I'm a firm believer that majority, if not everybody in this world that doesn't believe in Hashem or doesn't have the most trust in Him and Emunah in Him and faith, it's not because they don't have it. It's because they do have it. Every person is instilled with it. By default, we have Emunah and Bitachon in us. But we also live in an extremely cloudy world that things get clouded. And our vision gets cloudy. And that doesn't mean that I'm blind or that anyone's blind. It just means that the prescription isn't the right fit. And we have to understand that the prescription changes every single day. So we need to establish something that forms to our vision and our eyes. And that is not a generic, go get a default pair of glasses. If that's the case, you're going to need a new one every single day because you're going to look at life differently every single day. And that's natural. So like when that happens, we have to be honest with ourselves and tell ourselves that, you know what, it's not that I'm blind. Don't tell yourself, oh, I'm blind. Oh, I don't have Emunah. Oh, I don't have Bitachon. Oh, I'm not capable of this because I experienced this. You're capable of everything you're capable of, despite the fact of experiencing what you experienced. Everybody experiences life. Everybody experiences life in a different way. And there's not just one set way to see life. There isn't. Not even Torah is one set way. There isn't. There are 72 ways to read the Torah. 72 ways. I think the most knowledgeable person that I can probably think of in my head maybe can know 5, maybe a long shot 10 different ways. But you have to understand you're still missing 62 other ways that it could be done and it be correct. Our minds can't even comprehend that. So we are bound by our little 3 ways, 4 ways, 10 ways of hearing about how one can do something. And then if it's not one of those 10 ways, we call it wrong. We call it incomplete. We call it an error. But that's not true. Says who? Like, who's setting these default terms on how one can connect to Hashem or operate through life? Because there are a million different ways and factors into every person's life. And us as humans cannot do it. And if we can't do it, then why are we psychoanalyzing and why are we judging it? And the truth is, we just have to be honest with ourselves. And honest with ourselves results in us staying in our own lane. You don't see a person that's telling the truth debating. You don't debate and force the debate. You're only debating because everything that the person debating is saying, he wants to believe. He wants to get to that point. So as he's saying it, he's figuring out different ways to make it come across in a way that's truthful. But the truth is, if I know it's true, I'm not arguing with you. A person that knows what they're doing is right and this and that, they're very, very content people. They're very calm. They're not antsy. They're not all over the place. They're not stressing because they know what they're doing is the truth. And that's all that's all it takes. Because you don't have to beg, you don't have to convince somebody of the truth. The truth will always come out on top every single time. And it takes some emunah. It takes some trust to believe that's the case. A person that's not confident goes back and forth in debates. A person that's confident doesn't repeat themselves, doesn't go back and forth. It's just, nope, you can believe what you want to believe. It's fine. This is what I have to offer. You can take it or leave it. That's a confident person, and confidence does come out on top. It does. It's a trait that many are looking for and searching for on a regular basis. And all it is, and every single person has it, it's just the self-honesty. And when you're honest with yourself, you find yourself calm. You trust. Honesty comes with trust. When you're honest with yourself, you trust yourself. The truth is, we don't trust ourselves because we're not honest with ourselves. We don't trust others because we don't feel like they're being honest to us. You want to establish trust, you have to establish honesty. And that was this topic of Emunah Mondays. And if anyone ever has any questions, you feel free to shoot me a message or comment down below, and I'd be more than happy to break it down. But again, this week's topics was dedicated to Refuah Shalema for Ora Bat Shayna, as well as a Leuliei nishmat for Roger Asher Ben Marcel and Gabrielle Messouda Bat Sarah. See you guys next week.